Hello everyone, it's Jenny from A Stamping Journey with you. Today I wanted to share this card with you. It's using the Dove of Hope stamp set and the matching dies. This is available in the holiday catalogue that's recently been released. It's so beautiful. I love the images, I love the stamp set, and those detail in the dies is just gorgeous. So we'll go along with the sharing you the card. And I just wanted to share a few tips with you. I'm using the Plush Poinsettia paper with this. I don't know if you've checked it out. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's velvety in the detail. It's so soft and furry. And there's 3 different patterns in it. I'm using this scallopy pattern for the card. And when you cut with the dies with this paper, you'll find it will flatten the texture just a little, but I still think you get a lovely idea of the detail that's on it. So let's get ahead with it and make it. So you need to cut the dove. I've already cut the little pieces out you'll need. You have his body and you want 2 wings. So we'll just go and run that through our die cut machine. All right, now we've got our little pieces. I've just die cut those out. We've got a body and you've got the 2 wings. Isn't it gorgeous, this detail in it? And then just the added little texture with the plush paper. It's really beautiful. All right, get the rest of the elements of the card. For this, I have cut a piece of cherry cobbler card. This one I've gone with the red. I'm doing the cherry cobbler with this one, and the piece of designer series paper. This is from the 'Tis the Season designer series paper from the holiday catalogue. So I'll just go and die cut that out for you. Now I have die cut our piece of cherry cobbler with the ornate layers dies. If you have trouble getting it out, you can just run over it with your piercer or at the brush and just get those little tiny dots out around the edges. That will pop out easily. All right, I have heat embossed the sentiment with the gold embossing powder. That just gives you a little bit of shine. I don't know if you can tell that on the card. So let's bring in our stamp, the Peace on Earth stamp. Now, when you're going to heat emboss, it's always a good idea to give it a little rub over. Unfortunately, we don't have the embossing buddies anymore. If you can get hold of one or if you've got one, do use it. It helps reduce the static on your card. That will stop those stray dots of powder sticking to your card. So we're just going to run it over with the embossing buddy. Grab your Versamark ink. You'll want to use your Versamark ink. That's your little sticky pad. Ink up your stamp and stamp that down. Give that a good firm press. You don't want to be rocking it. You don't want to lift it off. You want to give it a firm press before you finish stamping. Stamped it, we're just going to tip over a gold embossing powder. I use a piece of scrap paper to collect the powder. Then you can tip the excess back in. Give that a little shake off. And I also use a little fine paintbrush to get those little tiny bits of powder that stick. Give it a tap underneath if you're finding there's a little bit of excess. That will shake off some of that excess powder. Just be sure to tip that back in your container before you move anything, or you're going to end up with spilt powder. Ask me how I know. All right, so let's grab our embossing, our heat tool. And you're just going to heat that over. Sorry about the noise. Let's get it on. the sentiment, I have actually punched that out using the Timeless Label punch that's in the annual catalogue. So just slide that in. See the shine? I love heat embossing. I think that's what really got me hooked to stamping way back years ago. All right, so just line that up. Give that a punch out. Okay, now you've got all your elements. Now it's time to assemble your card. I just added a little banner under your sentiment with the gold foil. What I actually did on this card, I've already cut it out with one of the small dies from the Tasteful Labels die. So let's get that over here. As they all fell out. I haven't put my magnetic sheet on this yet. That always holds it together. If I just add a piece of magnetic paper onto the pack, it holds all these loose dies still. All right, so this is the stitched banner that I've used. I've die cut that out from the Tasteful Labels dies. And that just adds an extra element too with the stitching on it. And I have die cut a leaf from the Dove dies. So let's get and assemble this together. We've got our garden green card base, all scored. It's just the standard size card base. We have our detailed cherry cobbler card that we cut out. We're going to add your adhesive. I use the multi-purpose adhesive because I just find it's very easy, comes out, but you've got that wiggle room, because how many times do you put something together and it's crooked and you have to give it that little bit of slide? So much better. All right, let's just add this to your die cut piece. See how we can slide it into place. All right, then you're going to, let's bring that back in here. We haven't finished with it. We're going to add your adhesive onto the back there. Stick that to your front of your garden green card. Center that, see? It's good to have the multi-purpose glue. Now we're going to put the glue, the dove together. Let's get our little dove. Now I have got our little wings. I'm going to just bring our Stampin' Seal for this and just add a little bit of that Stampin' Seal on the front of that dove. That one will go behind. The great thing is you can create your dove flying or however you want. Just add that one down. It really sticks it well with the seal. We're just going to add a little bit more to that in the position you want. This one's going to go on the front of the dove. Display your wings apart. It doesn't take much to put together. Now I did it straight down onto the card. You could use dimensionals, but I think it's much better if it just sticks straight down. Just add a little bit of the snail. Whoops, I nearly called it the snail. The seal. All right. And it doesn't matter. You don't need to have it all over it. Pop that little bit out of the tail. All right. Add your little dove down there. Now, let's bring in our multi-purpose glue. If you want to stick those wings down a little more, you can, but having that extra dimension makes it look quite nice. Right, and a couple of little dots on the back of your leaf. There. You can stick that, take the excess off on some scrap paper. Slip that under his beak there. hold that down. If you want to stick that down a bit more, that's fine. Now, where is our little piece of gold got to? There it is. Now, you can choose. You could cut that down in half and have something showing both sides. But what I've done is I've just gone for a little bit on your left-hand side. So add a little bit of adhesive there, slide that. There we go. Hold that just to hold it in place. And we can use dimensionals to raise that up off the card. Let's grab some dimensionals there. And I'm just going to get our little red rhinestone. All right, slide that, grab some dimensionals. I'm just using the mini ones. You could use the large ones, doesn't really matter. Add a few around and then it will stick. Right. And that just at the top of your card. Alright, we want to have a red rhinestone. These rhinestones you'll find in the annual catalogue. They really work well. Even though we're using cherry cobbler, it will still work really well. It's a good match. So there you have your lovely Peace on Earth dove. I just wanted to show you another version of this too. It's a little simpler version. This time, rather than the plush paper that I have cut the dove out, I've just used the Whisper White, but it really adds a little crispness to your card, I think. The white also shows the little embossing from the dove that you don't find on this card. So it's a little simpler. I've stamped the leaf on the background and just had a plain mat underneath the designer series paper. The sentiment there is stamped in the memento. So you have two different cards there. One a little more elegant, the other a little bit, but I think still really lovely. And it's certainly easy to make. Once you've die cut your pieces, it wouldn't take much to create a few of these cards for Christmas. So I hope you like the card. Give it a thumbs up or a like. If you've seen it, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and catch more videos. And if you're in Australia, come stop by my store. I'll put the link in the comments and you can purchase any of these products now. But if you love it all and you've got lots on your wish list, I would totally recommend you joining Stampin' Up. Come join my Gen Zinc team. We're a fast-growing team in Australia, and I'd love to have you a part of my team. You would get $169. You pay $169 and get $235 of products. So, and then you'll be on your way to get discounts every time you order. So, certainly something to think about if that wish list is very big. But I hope you've enjoyed the cards today, and I'll stop by again with another video very soon. Bye.